Hello everyone, Hyper here, and in today's video I will show you how to improve your damage on Mythic Fetid Devourer as a Frost DK. Now we actually use kind of a different strategy here than most people on Progress. We basically only do 2 sets of adds because we have the DPS to kill the boss. If you don't, your cooldown management doesn't really change too much, except that you will have to hold cooldowns for the adds. On pull here, I end up using my Pillar of Frost, my Cold Heart right before my Pillar of Frost runs out, and my Frostworm's Fury. This is because I know that our kill time will be under 4 minutes. It will be around 3:45 if everything goes smoothly. This means that I need to use my Frostworm's Fury in the first 45 seconds of the fight, otherwise I lose an entire use of it. And then when the second adds come up here, your Pillar of Frost will be back up, or actually first set of adds comes up here, your second Pillar of Frost will be back up. So you just basically save up some runic power for it and some runes. And you can use the second stomp to actually get knocked to where this big ad is. And as a Frost DK, you should always be assigned to the big ad because that is where your damage will be most efficient. So we use this knockback, get to the ad. On the one where it spawns right next to the boss is not that important, but if it spawns opposite of the boss, using that knockback to get to that ad can be very beneficial because you don't have to spend that time running. And here you just position yourself to basically cleave both the boss and the ad with your Breath of Sindragosa and just do as much damage as possible. And here I also press my Remorseless Winter on cooldown since I am cleaving 2 targets. A little side thing that I can mention is Death's Advance usage, because obviously it prevents the knockback, which can make a pretty big difference on this fight. As a DK and the way this fight works, you will want to prevent basically every 4th knockback. So you start by preventing the first one, which happens before the first ad spawn, and then the next 2, you can pretty much just position yourself in the cubby to get knocked into there, so then you don't really lose uptime because you're only getting knocked maybe a few yards at the most. But then when you come back out here and reset the boss position, this is where the 4th knockback happens. You use your Death's Advance again to prevent that. And you actually saw me use my Pillar of Frost on cooldown. If your raid struggles with the DPS check on this particular set of adds, which is the second set, then you should definitely hold off on your Pillar of Frost usage. But if you know that your guild or your raid has the damage to kill those, then you should definitely use your Pillar of Frost on cooldown because it will come up about halfway through this mutated mass. And you saw me actually get cleaved there because I got a little too close to the tanks. Normally I always kind of assume this position and just assume that I will be safe. But there the tanks got a little split up and I should have noticed that a little bit quicker and move out. I didn't really lose too much DPS because of it. The only thing that I really lost was the fact that my Cold Heart stacks were I believe around 13 or 14, so those reset completely. And I didn't get to use Cold Heart on that particular Pillar of Frost. But now we reset the boss, so we did 2 waves of adds, reset the boss to the normal position, and this is where we lost. So we want to burn the boss from 50 to 0 before the next set of adds spawn. And this is where I will be getting my second set of Breath of Sindragosa, and I use Potion for this, and I just go all in. And here the boss is taking a lot more damage, so your DPS will shoot way up. And you can see that my Frostworm's Fury is also coming off cooldown. I have 1 second on my Pillar of Frost and I use my Frostworm's Fury. It might have been a little late to actually hit the ad, but I definitely got the benefit of it on the boss, which is the more important part. But if you can turn there, I could have either positioned myself to hit the boss and the corpuscle, or the boss and the mass. It doesn't matter, as long as you hit 2 targets, you will get the maximum damage out of it. So that's pretty much that fight, and for Frost DK this is another great fight, much like Vectis, because it is based on a limited duration 2-target cleave. And if you're assigned to the mass, that 2-target cleave lasts quite a while. The downtime between having 2 targets available is only about 45 seconds. So it's definitely one of the better fights for Frost DK, as long as you're running a limited number of melee. So this particular fight ended up being rank 2, and rank 1 is actually, if I remember correctly, a Chinese player who is like 600 DPS above everyone else. So he just had a freakishly good pull. So even if I didn't get killed there, I would not have gotten rank 1. But so far so good, and rank 2 is not bad after all. If you guys have any questions about this fight in particular, or Frost DK in general, make sure to leave it in the comment section. And you might have noticed that I also made my written Frost Decay guide available to everyone, so if you want that, that is also pinned in the description box. Again, thank you so much for watching, hit the like button and sub to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.